Hey, what's going on, Emily?
It only took us 3 months.
I know,
exactly.
right?
12 weeks.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm a little hard to get all of those.
It's all good. How are you?
I'm good. I am driving home to pack up some T-shirts to send off tomorrow for my little beer and superhero shirts, and then I'm done for the day. So I'm good.
Awesome. Well, we just want to say
long Monday.
we just want to say congratulations with the success of Rivals 2. You know, making it to the finals with Paula.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Paula's kicking some ass with me.
Definitely. We've been watching for 12 weeks, as we said, and, you know, you guys took 6 wins on this challenge, but we just want to go back just a little bit and talk about the beginning real quick. When she did announce the partners, what was your reaction when you heard that Paul was going to be your teammate?
Well, before I mean, you guys kind of know me. If you've followed me, like, I really do get along with nearly everybody. I don't think I have any enemies, so I was, like, freaking out because all I could think about is that I, like, told Naomi something horrible on Twitter or I, like, accidentally said something really awful to her because that would have been, like...
Hello?
Hello?
I think the call's dropped. Let me go ahead and go her again.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Are you there?
All right.
You're back.
Okay,
Right.
so I'm back. My bad. So TJ's saying that we're partnered with Rivals, and in my head I'm like, the only way this is going to work is, like, I really thought that I tweeted Naomi something horrible, and so I was just, like, shitting my pants, really freaked out.
Yeah, that would be the worst.
Partner. Oh, my God. But then I kept looking at Paula, and she had, like, the shit-ass grin on her look. And I was like, there's no way Paula is just happy unless she knows that it's me. So fingers crossed the whole time. I'm, like, sweating so bad. Thank God it was Paula. I had a feeling because with Paula, she can either, it was one or two ways. Like, the only way I know Paula is, like, kind of frantic and spastic, but I also know that she is so good where I'm not. You know, she can really, really run, and she's really great at swimming. And so it's like the two things that I stuck at, she is completely dominant in. So I knew if I, like, cool, yeah, right? She's great at it. So if I played it cool, I think I, like, had a good feeling that we would do well.
Yeah. Now that, you know, this challenge is kind of, well, basically towards the end, is there anyone else that you could see yourself working with besides Paula? Or you would like to work with?
I said no. I don't think I would want any other partner. I mean, the only other girls I would let myself, like, be okay with, well, obviously I would love to be with Cook, but that wouldn't even be fair. So it would either be Camilla, because I think Camilla is she's a great competitor, so she would be the only one I wouldn't mind. But, I mean, there's no way. I don't think we'd ever fight enough to get onto Rivals.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say, like, this is, like, the first time in a while where it's, like, it seemed like the girls are doing more of the politicking than the guys. So how quickly did the alliances break down? Like, how quickly was it divided between the girls?
I think it divided as soon as we realized how the voting was going to go down. Because before we realized that the girls had no control, you know, if it was the girls voted the girls in, it would have been a whole different story. Because there's no way that, I mean, they would have constantly thrown Paula and I in because they want to get rid of us. But since the guys were in control, it was way more relaxed for at least Paula and I because most of our friends are the guys. And so the alliances, as soon as that deliberation split up, everyone was like, oh, shit. So it was more of like almost like a dating game. Like, I mean, you see this a little bit with CT, how he's like, I don't care as long as the ladies love me, you know, like filling up our drinks and making sure we're all happy, like doing whatever it takes to make sure we don't get on his bad side. So it was a lot more of a flirtatious alliance versus before where it was like, you do this, I do this. It didn't seem as sneaky, you know, and in past challenges sometimes it can get really ugly, but I never felt that way with this one.
Yeah. So you say you had a lot of guy friends. who are you and Paula's main guy teams that you were like, okay, we know they're not gonna throw out our name no matter what?
Yeah, so Johnny and Paula have some serious history. So I knew with that history that Johnny would never say Paula, but I also knew that Paula would never say Johnny. So before the game progressed, I was kind of like, oh my God, because you never know with Johnny. Sometimes he's like, for you, but you don't really know if he's for you. And so when I first was in this game, I was like, how do I even know? Like, he could easily screw us over, but there was no way to convince Paula of that. So I just totally trusted Paula on that one. And I'm glad I did it. They have a great relationship, and now Johnny and he's awesome. And so that was a really safe team to know that we always had each other's backs.
Yeah. Did you have that same kind of relationship with Ty when you were there?
Yeah, I did, but at the same time, so Ty and I, we've been through everything together, and we do have a great relationship. Although I don't feel like they showed him at all this season. I feel like he barely got shown. I don't even know where he was in Thailand. But he's great, and so I knew that he wouldn't ever say me, but I also know that they cared a lot more about making it to the final, and Leroy had some pretty sick alliances. He had his girls that he said he wouldn't throw in, and so even though I would like to think that he never would say my name, that it wasn't as sure proof, I think, because anything could change when it comes to two partners that are so different. Leroy had his people, Ty had his people. When it comes down to it, you really can't trust it.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of figured, cause I'm with you, like we barely saw that team at all, really. So I was like wondering, where did they fit? And
yeah. And and we hung out all the time, so it was great. But at the end of the day, you've really just gotta hope that they really do love you, I guess.
So all right. So we start with of course TJ saying that if the girls vote guys vote girls, and you guys doing Robin Derek twice. Now, what was the thought behind that? Like, did you guys not really were they just like the least connected team to you guys, or?
Yeah, 100%. So, I have nothing personal against either of them, and I wish I would have actually gotten to know them more, but I never have done, anything with those two. And their relationship with Paul and I is the least out of everyone. I was connected with Ty. Zach and I got really close. I was connected with Johnny, and, there's just a bunch of people that I had connections with, but Rob and Derek I never had connections with. So it wasn't anything, like I hated them or I didn't like them. It was just a very easy vote for us.
Even over Marlon and Jordan, like this is their first challenge, and I was expecting them to get thrown in a couple of times.
Yeah, so Jordan and I quickly became close, actually, and so knowing in my eyes, Jordan and Marlon were a stronger team than Rob and Derek. I would much rather piss off Rob and Derek because not only were Jordan and I close, they were a better team.
Okay, I want to kind of fast forward to like this past episode. This was like DM's like breakdown episode. But you competed with her and you guys made it all the way together on Valley X's. And I just want to get your opinion on DM then versus DM now, because it seems like we're seeing, I don't know if it's the edits or if we're just seeing a different person. Like, what's your take on her?
So I didn't watch. I still need to watch last week's episode, but I know from Twitter and I know from all the posts of the vibe that people are getting, and I really do love DM. I think that she is a great person, and so it's easy to see the craziness, but I also think that this show kind of makes you crazy, and there was a lot that she was having a hard time saying, and it all came out at once, and so, it's not a good look, but it's also not, it doesn't change her personality, because she really has the biggest heart. She's such a sweetheart, and so I felt so bad, because when I knew, all the stuff that people were saying to her, it just made me so sad, because it's just, it's not right. Some people that should deserve a good edit don't get one, and some people that deserve a bad edit don't get one either. And that's just how it happens. And unfortunately, it just looks bad. And I mean, she hasn't changed. She's still so sweet and so great and will do anything for anybody that she loves, and I'm lucky to be one of those people. But, I think she's ready for that to be in the past.
Yeah. Now, what's your opinion on CT and DM relationship? Did you think CT was really, only playing DM for her vote?
I think that it's a mix. He won. He needs a vote. And he knows if he can play his cards right, he can get a vote from her. And then if he can play his cards right with other girls, he can get a vote from them. And that's how it works. And I think that he can be a total douchebag and somehow still get away with it. And I don't know. It's so crazy that people still are like, oh my God, GP. I'm like, he's such a fool. Like, how is that even okay? So, I mean, that's just the way he plays the game, and more power to him. It worked, but at the same time, like, any girl that falls for him from now on out, or from here on out, I feel bad for her.
And what's your relationship with that team, CT and West? Because that's another team that you guys never really threw in. But I thought that they were like the biggest competition for your main guy teams.
I know. So we have like such a weird relationship with Wes, and I think it kind of pissed him off because I love Wes. In real life, he's great. But when it comes to politics, like, you got to be smart about how you can't ever make a big move. And I didn't ever want to throw CT and Wes in. If they're earning it, they need to be in the final. That's kind of what I think of. After a certain point, there's only so many times you can try to get rid of a strong team. So I had no intention of ever getting rid of them because I think the guys should just duke it out in the final. That's really what it comes down to. But at the same time, Wes was a little salty because he and I never officially had an alliance made, even though he really wanted one. And as soon as his strongest teams, I don't remember which team left. It was one of the first two girls' teams. When they left, he really wanted to meet, and we had this, like, business meeting date in his room, and we were going to talk about it. And then I didn't show up, and then he got so mad. So there was a little bit of stuff that they didn't show of how Paula and I kind of blew him off because I don't know, neither of us wanted to play super big politics. If we're a good team and we're a strong team, I almost felt like that was enough. I didn't want to connect to all these people and then totally screw somebody over at the end. That's the worst feeling in the world, to, like, have that on you. I, like, refuse to play dirty. And so we kind of stayed away from that alliance, even though it wasn't officially, like, I'm not going to throw you in or you're not going to throw us in. And we just kind of had this understanding that it would just turn out the way it was going to in the final. And we just had to hold our breath and hope that Jordan and Marlon would not throw us in.
Yeah.
Now, what's your take on because, like, in episode 2, Cook gets a new partner. I know all the girls are hating that because everyone's banking on Naomi to be like a free ticket for everyone else to the end. But she gets Cara Maria, who you competed against several times. And so, what's your take on this team, like, physically as a opponent?
Oh God, great! Cara Maria's been in as many finals as I have, I think. So, of course can you imagine it's like getting it's like a shitty Toyota Corolla to a Mercedes-Benz. It's literally, no offense, Naomi, I apologize. But there's just really, like, no comparison between the two. And so all of us were like, you gotta be kidding me. But then it was almost like I had this moment where I was like, okay, Emily, I could be mad about this or I could use this because if you look at the girls' competition, like, physically, I refuse to go against, like, it's just not as fun if you don't have a really good team to go against. Like, that's just how it is. Like, as a competitor, like, do you want to go on top, trying to beat someone that sucks, or do you want to fight nail and tooth to try to beat the best, And so I had, probably like episode 3, episode 4, I was like, okay, this is how it's going to be, but I would much rather be against better competitors and know that I did my best or that I fought my hardest, win or lose, than to kind of just get a free ride.
That's good because it worked out perfectly that you two. I mean, I like Camilla and Jimmy, and it, kind of sucks the way this final was broken down. But I like that you were the two teams that made it into the second part of the final because I feel like that's really going to be a good show. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I have no idea how Jimmy
I'm
will
glad I made
compete,
it there too.
Yeah.
I'm glad I made it there too. I was so nervous. I hate puzzles.
Yeah, I was nervous for you. I mean, because I saw how you and Ty did on etches, and that puzzle wasn't a great showing. So I was like, oh my God, are they really gonna lose this right now? But it worked out.
Oh man.
It's like they put the two things that you just said, and you worked on swimming, and then like the puzzles. They put those first.
I know. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe they didn't want me to make it. I was practicing my swimming though, like every day, so I was pretty excited that I did as well as I did in the ocean.
Yeah, that was great. But one thing, okay, so because before this challenge started, I love both you and Cook. I'm a big fan of both of you guys. And you guys seem really, excited to just be on a challenge together. But you guys get on challenge together, we see, zero interaction. What was your relationship with Carmia and Cook, in the house, just hanging out?
So Cook and I are very similar. I love that she plays soccer. I used to be a huge soccer fan addict. I wanted to play, big time, and then I ended up picking academics over soccer, and I was, super sad about that. But then I found CrossFit, so it, totally made up for it because I compete in CrossFit now a little bit, not, at a big level. But so I kind of found my niche with CrossFit, but it was so fun to talk about her and her journey with soccer because it's almost that is so badass. I love that you're doing that. She's really good, and it's just, very impressive to me because I know what it takes to be at that level. And so when we had conversations, and now we're a lot closer than we were in Thailand because there was almost only so close you can get with someone that is your toughest competition, and it's hard because it's you want to be I feel like in another life we were attached to the hip, but in this life we are too competitive. We literally, I really think that we're the most competitive people because it's not just a mindset of competitiveness, it's the athleticism to back it up, and we both have an athletic background and we both compete today in real life stuff that makes it a whole different level. So we went on a couple runs together, and I took her through a CrossFit workout together, and we did a couple things like that, but then there was a point where it was it just wasn't going to work out. There was so much tension in the workout that it almost wasn't even fun, and so I was there's a point where maybe we should wait until after Thailand to be friends, which is what has happened. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's funny. So we get this clip on the extra show that, Carmaria wanted to join your workouts, but you kind of gave her the stop sign. And I thought that was funny because it was so weird. Weird clip. So what's your relationship with her?
Oh my God, this is just so silly because there's just there's so much history over 3 years that you can't describe in 140 words or less. But there's been this dumb buildup of where I'm trying to, I don't even know if I want to talk about this because it's so silly when I talk about it, but it's something that's super, I'm really passionate about health. I'm really passionate about working out. And every time I would try to post things, this was before Thailand, I would get, rebuttal tweets from Cara and her talking about how she's such low body fat, she eats all the sugar in the world. And I get that she was trying to say that, there's more than one way, but Cara Maria is a freak of nature. She is gorgeous. She has such a great body, and she doesn't have to, genetically, she really does have a great body. And so I tried to explain to her nicely, this was a long time ago, that I just wish she would realize that it's not that easy for people. Because I've been there, and I've never been really overweight, but I've been very unhappy and very unfit, and you can't do what she does. Mm-hmm. You just can't. And so that was how it all kind of started. It bothered me, and I would much rather someone who has this ability to tell people you don't have to eat that way, because she wasn't eating that way, because she was trying really hard to get in shape for the challenge. Just be open about that. Like, it's so much more, it's more awesome to be proud of the fact that you work out and kick ass than trying to hide it with, like, all the shit that you eat, that you don't really eat. And so that's what really bothered me before I was even in Thailand, because she wouldn't, even though I tried to get her to be open about it, she refused to. And then she finally admitted, like, yeah, you're right. I actually have been hiding the fact that I've been doing CrossFit because I wanted to impress everybody. And I'm like, why? No one fucking cares. We don't care. Just be who you are. And the fact that you were trying to hide it and trying to be, like, weird about it made me so upset, because there's so many people that need that positive image, and it just made me really mad. And that's why I got mad.
All right, because it just kind of came out of nowhere, and so that's why I was just wondering.
I know.
Like, yeah.
I know. Does that make sense, though?
Yeah, it
does make sense.
Okay, and then it just snowballed. Like I have gotten like horrible. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word, but the C-U-N-T word. I've gotten called the arrogant C-U-N-T from her, and I don't even know where it's coming from. So, I mean, I will be very impressed if she has the guts to say that to my face, because I think that she has a lot more guts behind Twitter or behind text message, because in real life she would never say that to me. And that's another thing that bothers me. Like, just say it, dude.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, we rarely see her in like confrontations, but for some reason it seems like a lot of people just don't. I don't know. They're just not fond of her, so I never see like why though. That's why.
Yeah,
really
and that's it's confusing, because I think, I mean, she's beautiful. She has some great qualities.
Yeah.
But in real life, she's very hard to connect with, and that's what bothers people, because she looks, and it's just how it is. She has a great personality for TV, but in real life, she doesn't have that great of a personality. And I wanted to so badly like her. It's not that I don't wish I I tried, but there's a point where I just would much rather look at her on TV and not ever see her in person.
Well, you may see her. You may even be paired up with her in the future challenge. Just letting you know.
Fuck no, I'm out.
Just letting you know.
Nope. Out.
Okay. You know what? I wanted to ask this question. It has nothing to do with Rivals 2, but I wanted to ask so bad because I love the DC season, and when they had Battle of the Seasons, I was so hoping that there'd be a DC scene. So what happened? Like, did any of you guys get a call for that show?
Yes, we did, and we almost got on it, and then 2 weeks before, they were like, just kidding.
Oh.
And then we didn't get on it. It was horrible. I was so excited because I love, Mikey is one of my best friends, and he's just like a great person, and I don't know if he would have done it or not, but it would have just made the world if he was there. And I was really hoping Callie could do it, because Callie's such a sweetheart, but she has a baby now, and so, it wasn't, it just wasn't in the cards, but I thought I was going to be on it. I was ready. I was packed.
Okay, so we have some questions from some fans, and a lot of it is like, okay. Well, this one, okay, we're gonna go because it's starting to get into like your diets and your fitness stuff. So,
okay.
What made you become so adamant about fitness and health?
Oh man, so I grew up super active, and then I got on Real World, and I kind of knew how to work out. Like I was always in the gym in college, pretending like I knew what I was doing and trying to compete with guys, even though I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I would make shit up in the gym. And I got done with Real World. I did Cutthroat, and there's just something about watching yourself on TV, and it's just not, we're always our toughest critic, but it was really hard for me to watch myself on TV because I felt so gross, and I felt so unhealthy, and the challenge, the Cutthroat challenge when I was with Jen, it felt so hard, and I was like, I'm an athletic person. Why is this so hard? And then I realized how out of shape I actually was. And so I moved to Colorado. I started snowboarding, and I was just like, oh my God, even snowboarding is hard for me. And I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick sick of feeling out of shape. I'm sick of not liking the way I look. You know, we always have things, but for me, my thing was my legs. I hated the way my legs looked. I was like, you know, I don't want to see them. I didn't even want to wear swimsuits. And I just remember feeling really depressed about my body and being in shape because I knew that I had that athlete in me, but I didn't know how to get it back. And so I got back into the gym, and I just, like, I don't know, I found out, I researched about nutrition. I moved to Denver. I became a personal trainer 2 years ago. I found CrossFit. I found paleo, and it has completely changed my life. And it has been one of those things that it wasn't just, like, an accident that I found it. It's just, like, everything that, it just connects. Like, I feel like a badass. I feel strong. My body started changing, and I didn't have to obsess about it. I didn't have to count calories, and I just found this really good lifestyle where I'm just the happiest I've ever been. And I want the whole world to know that it's possible to be fit and to be active and not have to be obsessed with calories and not have to worry about, you know, I can't eat red meat or I have to only eat egg whites. And I want people to learn about nutrition because when I found out about it, it really did change my life.
Mm-hmm. And this is another one. What are some alternatives for vegetarians when it comes to following the paleo diet?
So I always try to convince vegetarians to maybe insert like some good fish if they can like maybe suck it up and eat fish. That would be amazing. But most vegetarians are like, hell no. So vegetarians have to have some sort of protein supplement. VegaSport is what DM uses. It's a great vegan protein. It's not as good as whey protein, but if you can do some sort of protein supplement, you are not getting enough protein in your diet as a vegetarian unless you're eating a ton of broccoli, and nobody eats that much broccoli. So the biggest thing is get a protein shake into your diet, whether it's post-workout or for breakfast. You need to start eating really high-protein vegetables like portobello mushrooms, broccoli. You know, research the vegetables that you like and see how much protein they have and see what you're getting. And then also, I just think just please eat fish. If you can eat fish a little bit, because it's really hard for anybody to build muscle without enough protein in their diet. It's actually impossible. So doing paleo would be really great if you could have fish, but at least get a protein shake.
Yeah. Here's another question. It's challenge related. This person says, what is your thought on the final elimination round for the girls on level 2?
Total bullshit.
Yeah. Were you mad that you cycled that one?
This is what made me so mad is that the guys got the physical ones. And I don't care what anybody says. Being blindfolded with a little ninja stick is not physical. Like, that's so silly. And I was like,
horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Like, why do the guys get the wrestling one and the girls don't? And that's why I was like, they really did want the girls' elimination rounds to be anyone's game. And I've never seen it like that before.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't done tons of challenges, but there's always a little bit more physical or like an even playing ground. And it wasn't. And so I think they wanted it to be anyone's game, and it definitely was.
Gosh. That would have been, this is like, that would have been great to see, like I don't know, like, like you and, like, Anissa go at it in Last Chance.
Oh my God!
I kind of want to see
talked about it. We even talked about it. Anissa and I. Oh man, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, that would match up perfectly. That would be so good.
It would have. It really would have.
But I understood why they didn't give Camilla and Jimmy that information because that would not have worked out so well.
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know because we have to wrap up. I want to know like future challenges. You do so well in these things. This is your third final and 3. Like, you've never been eliminated, and that's awesome. So are you gonna keep doing them, or are you kind of gonna skip a few? Like, what's your plan?
Oh man, I love doing them. I really do, but I have such a beautiful life. Like, I really am obsessed with my life. I feel like I live in Denver. It's beautiful. I snowboard. I I have my motorcycle. I train people for a living. I CrossFit, and I eat a lot of bacon. Like, my life is so perfect. I swear. And it's really hard for me to leave. You know, I leave my clients, and I leave my athletes, and I really want to, like, you know, just continue building my business, and it's hard to get away from that. And so, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I think that I would like to maybe do another. I would love to do a duel, obviously, but I think that right now it's hard for me to leave my life because I have such a good life, if that's an okay answer.
Yeah. Well, that makes perfect sense, because I was gonna ask, like people keep complaining about, like, certain things on the show, like they, like, the conditions, or like you said, you didn't have access to a lot of bacon. I don't know. But
we actually, that was the one thing we did have was bacon for breakfast. That was like my best meal.
So you had that though. And also, you know what, I also did want to get your opinion, because you said that you and Zach had gotten close. I want to get your opinion on his freak out and that whole elimination, which I thought was great, mainly because Ty and Leroy won, even though I thought they lost. But what was your take on that whole thing?
Oh, that was so crazy. It was a crazy week. I mean, you could see it. He was restless. He missed home. He was having a hard time. He really was. And it was just one of those weeks where it was not his week at all. And he was so mad about feeling like he got screwed over, whether he got screwed over or not. You know, he felt totally betrayed, and I think it totally just mentally messed with him. And so in an elimination, when you're like that revved up and the adrenaline's going, you know, you just cannot, you have to stay calm. And he didn't. And so regardless of how great he is, it was just a silly mistake that definitely costed him. But I still think he's great. I mean, he's like freaking Thor. He can, like, seriously, it's just ridiculous how strong he is.
All right, thank you so much, Emily, for calling in.
You are very welcome. I'm glad I finally connected with you guys. I have been avoiding, but it was time. It was time.
Yes,
definitely.
She asked me for like a year now. But that's
I know, I'm sorry. All right, guys, have a great night.
All right,
You too. Thanks, Adam.
Have a